Bongo, 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 yeah, bongo. So if I say the respond, bongo, 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 yeah, bongo, bongo, Onua pa, that's who you, yeah, bongo, Dani aswa, that's who you, yeah, bongo, Nemfiabu, that's who you, yeah, Dine superstory, Dine superstory. Yesterday, Bongo came back to social media, yes, live and colored, to drop what has been allegedly happened to him. He claims that is what happened to him. Also, before that, he spoke to CNN, I think DW News, right there, DW News, something like that, about the incident, about what happened to him. That one was just a gist. Yesterday, he dropped a full account of what had happened to him. And also, before that, there was a flyer going around. Yes, there was a flyer going around. I think Captain Smart, Onua TV, Bongo Ideas, and then Captain Smart on Onua TV. Charlie, the program not happen. Yes, the program not happen. I've got the full gist on whatever might have caused the program not to happen. Yes, like information is flying. Information is flying, and I'm here with the information. I'll plead with you to click on the subscription button. Yes, click on the subscribe button. After that, click on the bell so that anytime a new video is dropped on this channel. This is Lucas Trendz. Let us cook.
Lucas Trendz. Yes, he's doing great, and I think he deserves some attention.
So yes, as I said in the intro, Bongo Ideas yesterday gave a full account of what might have happened to him. Now, he claims that that is what happened to him. Now, he spoke to DW News, yes, DW News, where he narrated his story to them. And then they purported, they presented Bongo Ideas as a government critic, but not a social media bully. This was the video.
Passions?
So on 14th March 2024, around 3 a.m., some men masquerading as police officers broke into my room, dragged me out. I was threatened to be killed, where pistols were pointed to my head, and I was told to say my last prayers, right? So they beat me up and they warned me not to speak about the president.
So yes, Bongo told DW News that he was picked up at his house around 3 a.m. A gun was pointed at his head, and then he was told to say his last prayers. Yes, that video actually came out before yesterday. Bongo Ideas himself came to give a detailed account on what happened to him. In fact, during the DW News, he told them that he was told not to talk about the president again. Let's quickly go through what Bongo Ideas said. He said, at the dawn of Thursday, March 14th, 2024, around 2 to 3 a.m., whilst I was just dozing off in my couch, a group of suspected police officials invaded my home. Immediately, the entire household and some tenants in the house woke up to ask them their mission. They bluntly refused to answer them and moved straight to my door to break in. They banged in the first door tenderously and then eventually broke it open with full combat force. I woke up abruptly to check what was happening. There and then, I was hit in the face so hard, pinched to the door, knees on my back and neck like George Floyd. You remember that George Floyd incident? Yes. And then I was cuffed. Some people say cuffed. Mama Becca said my team. Handcuffed, handcuffed. I was cuffed. I asked what my crime was, and the reply I received was 3 heavy slaps from the supposed officers who were brandishing a rifle and pistols. They dragged me back into my bedroom, ransacked it hurriedly, then took my iPhone 12 Pro Max, MacBook Pro 2020 M1, my MTN table net, router, ITEL YAM phone, and all my IDs, including my Ghana card, Visa cards, Voters ID, NHIA card, and then all my charges were also taken. In a Rambo style, I was dragged like a wanted fugitive into a minivan that looked like a police vehicle with no number plate. When the household requested for which station they were taking me to, they reluctantly said, Central. Further questions from the fear-stricken crowd were ignored. Immediately, I was pushed into the vehicle. I was blindfolded and a cover was put over my head. Then I was subjected to severe physical abuse by these men, who then revealed to me subtly that they weren't sanctioned police officers. One of the men said, Verbatim, you are very stupid for insulting my mother and you will pay for it with your life. When you look at me, do I look like an ordinary police officer? I mustered courage and asked who his mother was. He went berserk and reacted instantly by slapping me on the face multiple times and hitting me in the abdomen. I let out my yelp of pain. The car traveled for a while and a call came purportedly asking them to take a detour. I was then told that they were taking me to a river to put bullets in my head and dump me. One of the men said, "Let us just finish him off here and dump his body into the water. Nobody will even notice." I was told to say my last final words as they pointed the erect pistols to my head. Yes, erect pistol, not the erect other thing. Erect pistols to my head. I went blank after the men paced up and down for a while, contemplating on what to do with me. When I am eventually rendered lifeless, they somehow decided to put me back into the car. They said to me that they would be taking me to the northern region where I will be killed and buried silently without a trace. One said in Tree, "We will add you to the accident victims and bury you inmates." I was then transported to an unknown location where I was carelessly pushed up a flight of stairs while still blindfolded and in cuffs. I hit my head against the pillars several times. One of the men said in Tree, "Commander, we have brought him." The commander asked me to kneel and review my passwords. I refused, and once again I received blows to my face, kicks to my tummy, and slaps to my back. I finally succumbed. I asked that my items be given back to me after they were done with the search, cause I have nothing incriminating on them. The reply I sharply got was whether I wanted my items back or I wanted my life back, and I said both. Subsequently, I was taken out and down and then put into a different car other than the van that brought me. I was taken to another unknown location, still in cuffs and blindfolded. After some minutes of a rough ride, I was given another set of unknown individuals who took me to a room and locked me up. After hours of being cuffed at the back, the metal started eating into my flesh and I was feeling excruciating pain. I asked that the cuffs be made more flexible and that they should take me to the law court and charge me if I had committed any crime. Nobody was present to answer me, I realized. Due to the bad stench in the room, I threw up a couple of times. I could not sit nor stand. I leaned. I was sweating profusely with my face swollen like a thief who had been subjected to mob violence. I laid on my side in that cold room for more than 8 hours. I only heard distant chatter and approaching footsteps. Nobody said anything to me or told me why I was there. At a point, I feared for my life, considering the fact that I was cuffed and powerless, bundled into a room and blindfolded, and didn't know if I were a sacrificial lamb being taken to the slaughterhouse. Later on, I was picked up like a log and put into another vehicle. This vehicle drove for a short while and then I was given to a new set of individuals. These individuals dragged me by the collar of my shirt and pushed me into their car. A new cover was put over my blindfolded face, which made it difficult for me to catch some breath. I suffocated silently. I sat in the middle of the two men at the rear who pinched my legs to the carpet of the car with what felt like guns. My knees were hit from time to time as we journeyed. They said no word and the interior of the car felt like Toyota V8 or an SUV. These men drove me over 30 minutes until they got to their destination. Then I was brought out and pushed into a room. A man came to give me further instructions and warnings. He said, "Why do you insult the president of the country? A small boy like you should not have the audacity to criticize the president. If the economy is not working, does it call for insults? All your other friends will also be picked up and be disciplined in due time." Then one of his boys subjected me to immense physical torture by hitting my cuffed hands with a stick until they became numb. More slaps followed. With every word that he said, my shin was hit until it started to bleed. Then the hot words continued. He was like, "How much have you taken from the opposition? How much has Mahama and NDC paid you to publish what you publish? Tell us now." Mention their names. I had no answers for them and that Bongo exacerbated my plight. I was beaten to a near pulp, then I was taken back into the vehicle. Then they got out, switched off the AC and closed the door. The heat in the car made me shout for help. I was literally losing my breath. All this while, I was still cuffed and blindfolded. Then one of the men suggested that I be dropped at unknown place at night. A new suggestion to drive me around for hours was rather taken. I asked where I were, and one said, "You are somewhere in the eastern region." Subsequently, the cuffs were removed. My swollen wrists and hands hung loosely. I was then tied up again with a rope at the back and pushed into the car. After several minutes of ride, I was brought out and abandoned in a forest near a path. They drove off speedily. I shook, nodded my head vigorously until the blindfolded started to loosen up. They had taken the cover off the blindfolded, so it took me nearly a minute or so for it to drop off my face and eyes. I saw light for the first time since dawn. I picked up a stone to cut the rope. It was an effort in futile, but I persisted until it cut. A good Samaritan and Okada rider felt pity judging by my state and brought me back home. He gave me his helmet and made me sleep on his back while I pointed out the directions to him. He later revealed to me that where I was dropped off by the kidnappers was Boteman Race Course. So this was the account by Bongo Ideas on what happened to him. Immediately I finished reading this, I was like, this is super story. Super story. This is soup. I don't want to believe this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you believe this, because wait there, answer some Rambo, a well scripted movie. In fact, they need to employ Bongo as a movie writer. Now, back to the Captain Smart issue. Yesterday we saw flies that Bongo was going to Onua morning show with Captain Smart. All of a sudden, it did not happen. And see, it is alleged that this is what happened. One Mr. Engineer Asamoah posted on Twitter. He said, breaking news. Bongo Ideas was scheduled to have an interview with Captain Smart this morning on Onua TV. Obviously, the interview would have been to damage the government on his purported capture by unidentified men. But a couple of hours before the interview, someone sent this to Captain Smart, prompting him on how Bongo Ideas insulted him, that's Captain Smart, with his chest out. Captain Smart therefore angrily cancelled the show with Bongo and warned him never to cross his path. Both Captain and Bongo are in pace. Agenda Yaramutu. Now, this is the purported tweet that the guy is talking about. This is it. Bongo Ideas said, Captain Smart is very unprofessional journalist. Great journalists are thinkers, not emotional noisemakers. He should learn from Bernard Avle. So this is a tweet Bongo Ideas made a time ago about Captain Smart. Per this engineer Asamoah, he said this was sent to Captain Smart and Captain Smart decided to cancel the interview. I don't know how credible this is, but when I check the guy's page, he seems to be a political person. He belongs to the ruling party. So probably he just made this out. I can't be so sure, but the interview was cancelled, and then engineer Asamoah claims this is the reason. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. This was Lucas Trendz. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe, put your post notification bell so that anytime a new video is dropped on this channel, you do not miss it. I'm out. Bye-bye.